Get ready for playoff action because we are diving straight into the NBA. We start with the 2026 NBA playoffs second-round odds, where the San Antonio Spurs are favored by double digits for Game 5 against the Minnesota Timberwolves. We break down exactly what this means for Victor Wembanyama and the fate of this crucial matchup as the series tightens up.
Here's a simple way to protect your phone without stress. This ALEN 3-pack comes with tempered glass screen protectors, camera lens protectors, and an installation frame for an easier, cleaner fit. It's clear, case-friendly, and built to help guard against scratches and everyday bumps. Check the link in the comments to get it on Amazon.
Next up, we look at the incredible legacy building for the New York Knicks. Stephen A. Smith is making a bold prediction, suggesting that if the Knicks win the title, Jalen Brunson will instantly become the greatest player in Knicks franchise history, surpassing legends like Walt Frazier and Bernard King. Then we turn our attention to the path ahead for the Knicks. We examine the timing of their Eastern Conference Finals appearance, discussing the potential rest they'll get after their recent sweep and what the upcoming matchup against the winner of the Pistons and Cavaliers series could look like. Finally, we see who the Knicks will face. The Cavaliers just dominated the Detroit Pistons, tying the Eastern Conference semifinal at 2 games apiece, and we analyze how Donovan Mitchell's performance against the Pistons sets the stage for the Knicks' next hurdle in the Eastern Conference Finals. Stay with us for the full breakdown. The 2026 NBA playoffs second round is heating up with several closely contested series, including a crucial Game 5 between the San Antonio Spurs and the Minnesota Timberwolves. The second round has seen 2 sweeps and 2 tight series. The Oklahoma City Thunder dispatched the Los Angeles Lakers, joining the New York Knicks in the conference finals, where the Lakers are still searching for direction after a 4-game sweep by the Thunder. Meanwhile, the Cleveland Cavaliers have tied their series against the Detroit Pistons, while the Spurs and Timberwolves face a pivotal Game 5 on Tuesday. San Antonio enters Game 5 as the heavy favorite, boasting a 10.5-point spread. The focus is squarely on Victor Wembanyama's performance following an ejection in the first half of Game 4. In Game 5, the series odds heavily favor the Spurs, listed at -425, compared to the Timberwolves at +320. Minnesota secured a vital victory in Game 4, but the Spurs showed resilience, leading for much of the second half despite Wembanyama's mid-game exit. Key performances included Dylan Harper scoring 24 points off the bench and Stephon Castle contributing 20 points, as De'Aaron Fox provided significant scoring, though Minnesota ultimately pulled ahead in the final minutes. For the Timberwolves, the win offers a measure of relief, as they narrowly avoided falling behind 3-1 due to Wembanyama's absence, with Anthony Edwards carrying the load with 36 points despite knee concerns. In other conference finals matchups, the New York Knicks are riding a wave of momentum, having won 7 straight games since falling behind the Atlanta Hawks in the first round. This impressive run has fueled optimism for the Knicks, who are favored to reach the NBA Finals, marking their second consecutive appearance in the Eastern Conference Finals. Conversely, the Pistons are favored by 3.5 points in their Game 5 against the Cavaliers, though the outcome remains close. The Thunder remain the clear favorites for the NBA title, having swept the Lakers. The Lakers, however, must now determine their roster strategy as they look toward the postseason with Luka Doncic sidelined. The New York Knicks are riding a wave of excitement as they advance to the Eastern Conference Finals for the second consecutive year, chasing a championship that has eluded them since 1973. ESPN analyst Stephen A. Smith has voiced strong confidence in the team's title aspirations, specifically focusing on the potential legacy of star player Jalen Brunson. On the latest episode of The Stephen A. Smith Show, Smith made a bold prediction. If the Knicks secure an NBA championship, Jalen Brunson will be enshrined as the greatest player in Knicks franchise history. Smith stated, "If the New York Knicks win the conference tournament and they end up advancing to the finals, and they win the finals with Jalen Brunson doing what he does, Jalen Brunson will go down as the greatest New York Knickerbocker in history." Better than Walt Clyde Frazier, better than Bernard King, better than Patrick Ewing, all of it. He'll go down as the greatest Knick of all time if he delivers the championship to this city. No doubt about it. The Knicks' journey to the finals followed a challenging first round. After an initial 2-1 deficit against the Atlanta Hawks, coach Mike Brown implemented crucial offensive adjustments, notably positioning Karl-Anthony Towns as the primary playmaker, which has proven highly effective, leading to a dominant 7-0 run through the rest of the first round and a sweep of the Philadelphia 76ers to reach the Eastern Conference Finals. In his playoff performances so far, Jalen Brunson has averaged 27.4 points, 2.6 rebounds, and 6.1 assists over 10 games, complemented by a 48.5% field goal percentage and an 86.4% free throw rate. Despite having only been with the Knicks for 4 seasons, Brunson's impact is already being weighed in the context of franchise greatness. However, Brunson remains reserved about his legacy. When speaking with The Athletic, he indicated that the question of his legacy is something he intends to address later, stating, "I think that's a question I would love to answer when I retire. This place means a lot to me. We're still writing our story. I'll answer that another time." Brunson's arrival in New York in 2022 was unconventional, coming after his time with the Dallas Mavericks, where he shared the court with Luka Doncic. He subsequently signed a 4-year, $104 million contract with the Knicks, solidifying his status as a key figure in the team's current narrative as they push toward their first title in 53 years. The New York Knicks are set to enjoy a brief respite before entering the Eastern Conference Finals, following a dominant sweep of the Philadelphia 76ers in Game 4. This victory propels the Knicks into their second consecutive appearance in the Eastern Conference Finals. The upcoming matchup pits the Knicks against the winner of the Eastern Conference Series between the Detroit Pistons and the Cleveland Cavaliers. The Pistons currently hold a 2-1 lead in that series, with Game 4 scheduled for Monday in Cleveland. The immediate path forward involves Game 5 on Wednesday. If the Cavaliers secure at least one more win, Game 6 will be played on Friday. Should the series extend to a Game 7, the conclusion would be on Sunday, May 17. If the series reaches Game 7, the Eastern Conference Finals are slated to commence on Tuesday, May 19. The venue will depend on the outcome. Little Caesars Arena in Detroit if the Pistons win the series, or Madison Square Garden if the Cavaliers prevail. However, if the series concludes in 5 or 6 games, there is a possibility for an earlier start, potentially as early as Sunday, which would grant the Knicks at least a week to recover and prepare for the ECF. This mid-playoff break is considered rare, highlighting the importance of managing performance during the postseason. Fans are encouraged to engage by suggesting which opponent the Knicks should face in the Eastern Conference Finals. The New York Knicks, comfortably positioned in the Eastern Conference Finals, are set to benefit from an extended rest period following a hard-fought series. However, their path to the championship is immediately complicated by the outcome of the Eastern Conference semifinal matchup involving the Detroit Pistons. In a pivotal game on Monday night, the Cleveland Cavaliers emerged victorious over the Pistons, securing a 112-103 win and tying the other Eastern semifinal at a 2-2 record. The Cavaliers demonstrated significant dominance in the second half of the contest, highlighted by Donovan Mitchell's exceptional performance. Mitchell was instrumental in the victory, scoring 39 of his 43 points in the second half, leading the team by a +28. The Cavaliers' defense was equally stout, effectively neutralizing the Pistons' star player, Cade Cunningham, who finished the game with 19 points and 6 assists. This result significantly alters the landscape of the Eastern Conference, presenting a new and potentially formidable opponent for the Knicks as they look toward the final stages of the tournament.